Hello everybody, this is Dr. Novak again. I thought I'd do a quick video. I noticed that after 67 days of not cleaning out the ADA 24 super canister filter that on the 90 gallon, that things just didn't look right. And after you've been in this hobby long enough, you can tell when things are just a little askew in your aquarium. So I thought, well, I'm going to take it and clean it out. Let's see what's wrong with the canister filter. This is a photo of the very last layer of the canister filter. There are several layers in the canister filter with the BCB in the center of it, and all kinds of matrix of different filter material. But look at how filthy dirty this is after 67 days of being set up in the 90-gallon aquarium. Now there's things we have to remember. One, the substrate has never been disturbed, so we don't have a bunch of detritus and everything else being stirred around in the aquarium since the day it was made. The canister filter has already been cleaned before this, and someone made mention that, oh, you could let the canister filter go for 90 days or 6 months. But I wanted to show you this because I feed, on an average, in one feeding, I feed them twice a day, the fish, 1.6 milliliters of food, twice a day. I measure it, and that's what the fish get fed. There's about 60 fish in the 90-gallon aquarium, which really for these small fish is not very many fish for a 90-gallon aquarium. But the reason I want to hurry up and make this video and show you this, when I was doing it, this is the very top filter. The other ones were even dirtier yet at the very bottom. This goes to show you that when you make an aquarium, even if you don't disrupt the substrate at all, you're going to figure out, well, there can't be much detritus, there can't be much of a bioload, there can't be much organic material. Well, think again. Here it is, 67 days of not cleaning the filter, and yet my nitrates were only 5 parts per million, my phosphates were 0.06. Yet look how filthy dirty the very last pad of this filter is. And this is a prime example of what hobbyists do not expect when you start loading your aquarium full of plants and animal life, how dirty it really is. Now, I have snails, I do have shrimp, things like that, but everything is creating a waste product. The wood you put in, the plants are deteriorating. And remember, when I've told you about the aquarium, I tell you, I don't go in there and I don't snip off leaves right away when they start dying. A lot of them are in the back. You'd have to try to get in there and mess up everything. It's just not almost humanly possible unless you want to destroy the aquarium every time you want to go in there and do a modification or clip leaves. So you do the best you can. But this is proof right here in 67 days of how filthy, dirty a planted aquarium can be, even with a fish load that is more than light enough for this particular aquarium. And even if you measure your food out right to the milliliter, it still gets filthy dirty. And you have to remember, when it comes to planted aquariums, you have algae. When you scrape your aquarium glass, they go back into solution. This is using a wear. It's not picking up from the very bottom of the aquarium. So you may have organic matter at the bottom of the aquarium just sitting in a corner or something that you can't get to. You kind of think, how could an aquarium like this get so filthy dirty? But this is typical of planted aquariums. And even my aquarium here is not fully planted. In other words, it's not like a lot of aquariums will have a lot of plants in them. You know, they look beautiful, like, but this is not one of those aquariums. And look at this. So when I try to explain things to everybody is you have to have a filtration system that can handle this. This is very typical of why aquariums in the end begin to have problems. If this is 67 days, I don't have a big, huge fish load, not for a 90-gallon like this. I do water changes every single week. Look at how filthy the canister filter got just in 67 days. From a tank you would think that it shouldn't have that much dirt or detritus or anything else in it. It really shouldn't. And I haven't disturbed the substrate in any way, so we're not getting anything from the substrate to be sucked up by the filter. But look at how dirty this is. Unbelievable. This is why I try to tell people, and I thought I would show you, this is why you have to think about your biological filter and how it works. If this is my aquarium, and it's doing this, and this is a big, huge canister filter, the 2488. You can imagine what your aquarium's doing when you fill it full of animal life and you fill it full of plants and everything, of what really happens and how filthy dirty it actually is. Now, a lot of people will tell you that. Planted aquariums are dirty. They're filthy. This seems to be what happened. Things live, things die, you can't catch everything. Things could be hiding that you can't see. Your aquarium has to handle that. Your whole biological system has to handle this. Look at this. This is the very last filter, which you would think would be the cleanest, but it gets dirtier as I went down into the other filter pads that I had. So I thought I'd do this quick video just to show you that the system's doing well. I just saw something didn't look right to me. A few bubbles were remaining on top of the aquarium, and I'm thinking to myself, there's something amiss here. You know, it tests out fine. The tests are saying fine, but just by looking at it, I could tell, there's something going amiss here. I better change my canister. And look at this. You could see what was happening. It was, and if you look around the white tubing, you'll see that slime. That's bacteria. That slime is bacteria. Remember, I've told you about that. That's that polymeric adhesive that's developing all over the aquarium and inside your canister filter. And that's that slime that develops on everything because they're trying to prevent, shear, water shear. So just something to remember, that even though you do maintenance on an aquarium or you don't disrupt your substrate on an aquarium, especially when you use plants and you don't overload your aquarium, it's still pretty filthy. And now your biological system has to handle this. And right here is proof in the pudding, you could say, that if you do not make a biological system capable of handling this load that you're putting on it, your system's going to collapse sooner or later. It is just going to wind up dying on you because this is the way it is. Every planted aquarium I have ever made has done the same thing as you see here. Even though I barely had any fish load, they were always like this when you had a canister filter. Now you can understand why people will go to a sump and maybe use socks where they can be clean constantly, but you have to handle this. Unless you are keeping up with changing your filter at least every 30 days or less, your system has to handle this load. So if I had to clean my canister filter, let's say every 60 days, no big deal. That's, 6 times a year. but your biological filter has to handle it. And of course, if you were to do readings on my tank, you would see, well, there's no ammonia, there's no nitrites, nitrates are 5 parts per million, phosphates are 0.06 parts per million. I mean, you would say, well, by everything I am seeing, the tank's doing fine. But look at what the canister looks like. It's literally filthy from what? What's in the water? And the turbidity of the water is absolutely clean. Okay, it is. If you look at it from the side or from the front, you would say, I don't see anything floating around in this aquarium. I see nothing. No detritus, nothing. It's clean. It's wonderful. It's great. So where is this dirt coming from? Where is it coming from? And how is it coming and blackening up every filter that's in the canister filter? Sure, the filter's probably acting like a 50 micron filter or something like that, but I just want to show you this. The BCB basket, the plenum, everything that's being used gives you perfect water conditions, but yet I could tell that it looked like too much protein was building up at the surface. Even though I'm using a wear that uses a skimmer, I just saw something amiss, and therefore I thought, maybe it's time to clean the canister filter. And here, yes, it was time to clean the canister filter. Definitely. Did the canister filter smell bad? No. Nope. No smell, no nothing. It was not sour. It was like, ooh, this is real bad. This is, ooh, it smelled. Nope, nothing, zero. It was just fine. Did the aquarium smell? Like when you go up to your aquarium, you ever smell your aquarium? Can you smell something? Nothing. But yet I could tell something went amiss. So that's why I want to hurry up and make this video, to show you your system has to handle every little thing that comes. Every little insult. Chemical and biological meteors have to stay open to the amount of food stuff that may be created. And in some ways, you could actually say that the plenum and the BCB basket are giving you a false positive reading. And I'll admit that. If you do all the tests, you say nitrates, everything's great, man, my fun. But really, look how polluted this canister filter is. Look at this. Look at the pollution it was picking up. So even though the test kits may show you that everything's absolutely perfect, something was going amiss in the aquarium, which I could notice. And this is the reason why the canister needed to be changed after 67 days. I was going to let it go 90 days, but it couldn't go that long, as I could see. Something just wasn't right. And as you see, there's a lot of slime in here. Now, of course, when I clean everything out, I just pull the BCB basket out, just rinse off the sides, and it goes back in. I don't do anything with that. But if I have a sponge in there, I clean it out. Anything that's reusable, I clean out. Now, when I clean my canister filter, I'm going to tell you right now, I don't clean it in tank water. I take everything, I throw it away if it's disposable. I clean out everything with not tank water. I go out with the garden hose or in the sink, clean it, wring it out real good, wring it out like it's brand new, put it all back in. I don't baby the canister filter and try to save all the bacteria, because I have a BCB in there and it's got all the bacteria that I need. So I just go ahead and clean everything and boom, put it back together again. If you ever want me to do a video on it, I could do a video of just exactly how I load this thing up. Plus I use carbon, so I change my carbon. I put new resin in, just like I showed you in one of my videos, making the Dick Boyd's, generic Dick Boyd's ChemiPure. I did that. I got a basket in there that carries at least 2 pounds of carbon and of course my resin and everything else in there. And then I add my phosphate removing pads in there to help with the phosphate, along with what the bacteria is doing. But I thought I'd show you this. This is the reason why hobbyists don't understand. They may test their water and say, my water looks good, but my tank is messed up. This is the reason why. You have to have a system that will take that bioload and take care of it. So yes, you're getting a positive reading and you're happy and you're smiling and you're saying, wow, everything's going great in my tank. But in reality, there's other things happening that you're not accounting for in your aquarium. That's being taken care of by your system. And if your system can't handle it, then your system's going to collapse and you start having problems, and then algae starts taking over instead of what you want, letting it be algae free and everything else. Like the aquarium, my aquarium that you're looking at is algae free. It doesn't stay that way. It starts getting full of all kinds of algae. And some people I know, they get real anal with the algae and they don't want this. You're going to have some algae, but you just don't want it taking over your whole aquarium and ruining it. But you're going to have some algae. That's fine. You just don't want it to dominate everything. And then if your system does wind up collapsing, it will dominate. It will definitely become the #1 plague in your aquarium. So I thought I would show you this just to show people who maybe are new and think that, oh, I built this aquarium, I put plants in, and I haven't stirred up the substrate, that it can't be very dirty. Here's proof. I even measure exactly how much food twice a day is being given, 1.6 milliliters of food to the inhabitants, and look how dirty this aquarium is the canister filter is after 67 days. So anyhow, I just thought I'd make a quick video to show those who may not know this. For the old timers, you already know that. It doesn't take long when you have a plant aquarium to clog up a canister filter or your hang on the back filter. And you think about it, people say, well, you get a siphon in there. You don't have that much room to put a siphon really in the aquarium and try to pick up stuff. You may be able to siphon some spots, other spots you can't touch. But I just thought I would show you this, that though nothing has been disturbed, never been disturbed, look how filthy dirty it is. And yet, if you looked at the turbidity of the aquarium, it would be spotless. You would say, wow, this looks crystal clear. So I hope you enjoyed the video. Until next time, happy fish keeping.